Welcome, wonderful Year 9 students, to another exciting class. Today we're going to be looking at how we can find the equation of a line using mx plus b. So we know the formula y equals mx plus b. We've seen that formula before. What does the m stand for? Well, remember, m stands for the gradient. What does the b stand for? B stands for where it crosses the y-axis, the y-intercept. And remember, the gradient is also rise over run. And another word for gradient is the slope. Tells us how steep the line is. So let's get into our examples. Example 1, determine the equation of this line. Well, I can figure out the gradient easy enough. I know it goes through this point here, and I know it goes through this point here. Remember, to find gradient, I need the rise over the run. I could draw a triangle going this way, or I could draw a triangle going that way. So I'm going to go across this way. Now, what's the run? If you go from -4 across to 0, 0, you've gone 4 places. If you go from 0, 0 down to -2, you've gone down 2 places. I'm not worried about the pluses and minuses. I've just gone across 4 places and down 2 places. Which means, because this line goes down the page, it's going to be negative. My rise over my run becomes 4 over 2, but I put a minus in front of it because it's going down the page. And 2 over 4 cancels to a half, so you get a gradient of minus a half. Where does this line come in contact with the y-axis? Well, here it is here at -2. So the y-intercept, and remember we call the y-intercept b, so b equals -2. Let's break out our formula now. The equation of the line is y equals mx plus b. Well, I know m, it's minus a half. I know b, it's -2. So the equation of the line becomes y equals minus a half x plus -2, which is just the same as -2. Let's go on to example 2. Now there's 2 ways we can do example 2. So let's have a look at each method here. Find the equation of the line that has a gradient, m, or slope, m, of a quarter. And it's got to pass through 8, -1. Well, the first method is use m equals a quarter. Remember, m is rise over run, we know that. But we know it goes through 8 -1. That's a point. So that is an x value and that's a y value on my graph. Well, I can use my equation. What can I put in place of m? A quarter. What can I put in place of x? 8. What can I put in place of y? -1, because they're x and y values that I can substitute, and I know that that point lies on the line. So I can do that. Where I see y, I put -1, because that's the y value of the point I was given. Where I see m, I put a quarter. Where I see x, I put 8, because that was the x value I was given. So, a quarter times 8. Let's do this first, because BODMAS says do the times first. A quarter of 8 is 2. So I get -1 equals 2 plus b. Let's -2 to both sides. You get b equals -3. Now here's my formula for the equation of a line. Y is equal to mx plus b. Now I know m. We were told m at the beginning. It's a quarter. I now know b. It's -3. So y equals a quarter x plus -3, or a quarter x, just take 3. That's the first method. Now that's the method your textbook uses. However, method 2 is a method I'll use most times because it introduces a new formula that's not in your textbook, but it is going to be used in years 10, 11, and 12 as the most important formula for finding the equation of a line. So I think it's a good idea to learn it now. And that's the rule there. So write that down. That's how you can find the equation of a line. Now it looks more complicated than y equals mx plus b. We've still got an m. That's still the gradient or the slope. But now we've got an x1 and a y1. Now in this formula, x1 and y1 mean the x value of the one point you were given and the y value of the one point you were given. So let's have a look. We know from the question our value of m. It's a quarter. We know from the question that there is a point that's being given. So the x value of the one point that I was given is 8. And the y value of the one point that I was given is -1, which means now in my formula where I see m, I can put a quarter. Where I see x1, I can put 8. Where I see y1, I can put -1. So I get y minus -1 equals a quarter, bracket x take 8. Now 2 minuses make a plus, so that becomes y plus 1. And when I times my bracket out, a quarter times x is a quarter x. And a quarter times -8, if you do that on your calculator, a quarter of 8 is 2, so a quarter times -8 is -2. I'd like to get y by itself, so let's -1 to both sides. -2 take away 1 gives -3, so it's y equals a quarter x, take 3. That's method 2. Now, if you think it's more difficult than method 1, you can use method 1, but you must learn method 2 in years 10, 11, and 12 and use it. So it's a good idea to practice it now. It's going to mean it's to be easier in the long run. Well, time for you to get into graphing some questions. Enjoy the mathematical wonder and experience. Bye for now.